To Bellevue, 24-8 to Australia, the score in this second tour match. Let's go back to commentators Mike Stevenson and Eddie Hemmings.
And the match is back in progress. Nick Dutoy, the man in possession for Wakefield Trinity. Interesting to note at the start of this second half that Wakefield have made a change. Chris Perry, their fullback, has been taken off. He'll play no further part, and so he is replaced by Richard Slater, who will be wearing number 14. And Slater has slotted in at fullback. I wonder whether that try that Perry conceded with the high bouncing ball has got anything at all to do with that as far as David Topless is concerned. Meanwhile, a penalty here to Wakefield right at the start of this second half. The mouthpiece there, you see it floating out of the young winger David Jones's mouth. Cliff Lyons, the man who was penalised, and a great kick from Mark Conway, pegging Australia back to their own 22.
Well, that's a type of kick that Conway has to produce in the second half, and we saw there that Lyons very lucky not to spend at least 5 minutes in the sin bin for a very high tackle.
Lazenby then for Wakefield. They really must get a point or two on the board here, I think, at the start of this second half to give us a bit of a contest. Wilson, good run from him. Great run from Wilson. Now he's only got the one man, Alexander, to beat. He's going wide. He's got him licked for speed. No, he hasn't. Great run from Andy Wilson. And here come Wakefield Trinity again. Another substitute. That's Richard Slater, just come on. His first touch. Bell is the acting halfback. Conway. That's a good run from him. Well played, but not the night for clever tactics and unloading the ball too freely in the tackle. Here's Wilson, who really has set the crowd alight at the start of this second half with that great run. Mason going nowhere, and what's more, he's dropped the ball. Lazarus has dropped on it gratefully for the Australians.
Full credit to Wakefield. They realise they've got nothing to lose. Let's keep the ball alive. On a wet night, the crowd wants some excitement, and they're certainly going to give it to them.
Two interesting statistics from that first half. Alexander's kicked 4 out of 5 goals in poor conditions. Contrast that with Sunday, when the Australians couldn't put the ball over, only 2 going over from 8. And the top tacklers in the first half, Gary Price for Wakefield with 17, and Brad Mackay of Australia with 18. The Australians coming forward again. Alexander, oh, he's put his foot down on the pedal there. Oh, and the ball flipped up neatly for Andy Kelly. He read that one well. The crowd breathe a sigh of relief as Wakefield get the ball back.
Saw the speed there of Alexander. He really is fit for this tour. And Australia trying, as Wakefield are, trying to keep the ball alive.
Now here's a good break from Nick Dutoy. Mason, he's got Wilson out in support on this near touchline. If Shearer can get round Shearer, there could be trouble here. The ball's still in play. Dutoy, he's got Conway. Oh, and the ball eventually running out of play. And it's going to be Wakefield's head and ball, according to the touch judge. The Australians don't like it. Conway just forced into touch. Great run, though, from Dutoy here.
Certainly was, and good play also by Alexander. Well, Conway, a little bit of professionalism there, threw the ball against Alexander, and the touch judge said, yes, you're put in on the ball.
Lazenby then from the scrum. His opposite number, Cliffy Lyons, bringing him down. This is Nigel Bell. Now Shelford. Good ball out to the far side. David Jones. I do think that Wakefield have got a bit of pace out wide. If they can just work the ball out to their 2 wingers, Jones and Mason, or Wilson, who's now playing out on this left-hand side. Here's Mason playing in the centres. He's got Wilson in support. He doesn't need him, I don't think. Oh, great run! Wonderful try from Andy Mason. What a great try. The try of the night. And they are delighted. And so is the Wakefield Trinity bench.
And so they should be. That was super. The step inside, and full credit to the Wakefield side, and also full credit to their coach David Topless. Beautiful ball here, right out wide from Conway. Slater, watch the step. He goes through, he's got the speed. Here's the step here. Alexander just could not keep his feet. Andy Mason, that was good play. Now watch him come through, and I think you'd have to agree that Shearer certainly hasn't got the speed that he had on the last tour, and he's been troubled with injury. But let's not take anything away from this guy. He has the speed, Look, Shearer's got nothing there, and the step, Alexander slips, and in for a great try.
So Andy Mason, his 51st career try for Wakefield Trinity, and his 6th of the season. He's the leading scorer here, and Conway really can put Trinity back in the picture had he got that one over the top of that crossbar. But my word, Wakefield come out at the start of this second half, and they're going to give the Aussies a match here. Wakefield 12, Australia 24.
Yes, and I think that Topless has read the game right, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Bobby Fulton take Shearer off. I think he may replace him very, very shortly.
Shelford driving that ball down the middle, as he's done so often for Wigan last season, Manly during the summer in Australia, and he's now doing here in Yorkshire for Wakefield Trinity. And it's just warming up a bit again here. Lions, though, doing well. This is Mackay. The conditions not helping the Aussies. Although there's Dale Shearer. He had to play tonight, really, to prove his fitness. Some doubt about him actually making the tour, but he has done. He pulled out on Sunday, and he's in this Australian side tonight to try and prove his fitness. But that's a great run from Sargent. There's Bob Fulton, the Australian coach. Furrowed brow. Cliff Lyons, good play. That was Fittler. Long pass from him, asking a bit from Johns. Chris Johns just had to watch that as it sailed out of play.
Well, a beautiful ball by Lyons to get young Fittler into an open spaces. A little bit too high for Chris Johns. They're really not put in the stamp of excellence that we've become used to on the Australian sides.
This fella is an excellent player, though, Stewart. Great pass from him. Oh, and I tell you what, Kevin Walters is waiting for the challenge. Stewart's in support. Shearer stepping off both feet. Good tackling by Mason and Dutoy. Australia still haven't finished, though. Lyons. And this is another good run from Kevin Walters. Good tackling by Lazenby, though. Elias again, masterminding from dummy half. Lazarus coming forward on the charge. They've got to hold him up. I don't think they have. The referee has pointed to the spot. That silenced the crowd. It's another try. And just when it looked like Wakefield were coming back into it, that surely will bring a smile to the face of Bobby Fulton, because Glenn Lazarus has gone over the line, under the black dots, and another try for Australia.
Just sheer strength here. Keeps going, pushes off Conway, and Shelford couldn't stop him from planting the ball over for another 4 points. And this is a typical example of a defensive side hanging off. Wakefield didn't move up. In fact, the momentum took him over, despite Shelford trying to kid the referee that he didn't get the ball down.
Lazarus then with the try, Alexander with the goal, and they've increased the lead after we had a brief little bit of Wakefield pressure and that great try from Andy Mason. He's kicking well tonight, Greg Alexander, in difficult conditions. And a substitute about to come into the fray. Let's go down pitch side and join Peter Hutton.
Well, Billy Conway, the man coming on, Andy Kelly, the man coming off. Billy Conway, a hooker. They've, of course, lost their hooker, John Thompson, sent off inside the first half.
So the captain takes a breather. He'll play no further part in this match. But there's the new man on, Billy Conway. He is a hooker, 6 years here at Wakefield Trinity. And he has to have a bit of a say in what's going to come in the next half hour or so. The Australians then increase the lead. But the match not over yet. And the rain hasn't finished yet either. It's pouring down. Another good deep kick. That's one for Slater to chase. And Australia moving up like greyhounds from the traps here. They're already at the ball. And that's wonderful chasing from Australia. An abject lesson for the British players, I think, the way they chase the kicks ahead and really force the man in possession into a bit of panic in his own mind and just having to sit and take the tackle.
Certainly is, Eddie, and Australia didn't use that tactic in the first half. Obviously, Fulton has told them that There's no point in playing it tight in the forwards in your own half. Let's get the ball downfield.
Well, just as on Sunday, we had a big crowd in at Nosey Road and they went very quiet, so the same must be said here at Wakefield. They're watching a very good unit here for Australia, but not as good a display as we had from them on Sunday, when in my view at St Helens the Aussies really were absolutely clinical in their finishing.
They certainly were, and of course they got the ball out wide, and the power of Meninga and the speed of Ettinghausen certainly helped. The conditions hasn't helped both sides, but full credit to them. They've tried to keep the ball alive. A lot of mistakes, that was expected.
Johns again thought better of it as he took the tackle from David Jones, his opposite number. He was about to unload. This is Lazarus though. Elias Stewart, what a good player this fellow is. Rushing the tackles off, but he won't rush Jed Byrne off quite so easily. And now they're back in the Wakefield quarter. Here they come again. This is David Gillespie. He unloads well. Mackay, steps through the tacklers, looking for support. It wasn't there on that occasion. Slater and Bell bring him to ground, but the Australians not far away from the line, and helped even further by Wakefield and Andy Mason straying into an offside position, straying inside the 5. The Aussies, though, decide to run it. Shearer, good play from Lyons. He finds Fittler. The youngster's going to go over for a try. The strength has taken him through, and this crowd absolutely silenced as Brad Fittler, the Penrith centre, just uses his strength. He's only 18, and look, glum Yorkshire faces as Australia score yet another great try.
Yes, he's certainly a good prospect for the future, this guy. Amazingly, 18 months ago he was playing against junior footballs, and notice the upper strength. Good step, bad tackling though. Shearer get the ball alive. Lyons just pops it over, and the step here, he's a classy player, and in for his first try in the green and gold. That'll bring a smile to his face. The kid signed a contract just before he went on the plane, and they're paying him $500 for every try that he scores on tour.
So he will be well pleased with that, as will Australia with this scoreline, and they've gone a couple of points better than their tally at the weekend. They're ahead here by 36 points to 12, and on my watch we have just had almost 13 minutes of this second half. And Wakefield again have to kick off. And that was a mistake by Ricky Stewart. The ball beat him, bounced off the turf and went out for a scrum. Good kick this.
Certainly is, and bad positioning by the Australians. Chris Johns really far too deep.
Well, the Australians have made another change. There's another substitute has come on. Details will come from Peter Hutton, who's on the Australian bench.
Mark Geyer is the man who's come on. He's replaced Mark Sargent, the front row forward, with Gillespie going into the front row and then Geyer going in on the second row.
So Mark Geyer on into the action for the last 25 minutes or so here. Wakefield get possession from the scrum. Fortunes fluttered briefly at the start of this second half. Can they come back again? A lot to make up. Crowd quiet. Big effort needed. No one will give bigger effort than this fellow, Adrian Shelford. But they've got to go with the ball, and they can't surrender possession like that to fellas like Chris Johns. Well, on a dreadful night here in Yorkshire, it looks like the Kangaroos' success story will continue. But the Wakefield players back in possession. Mason scored that great try early on in this second half. Can you see a club side, Mike, toppling them on this tour?
Well, on this performance by the Australians, they were rattled in the first half, and maybe Widnes and Wigan and Hull, if they get their act together, that they could cause an upset. But I think you'll find that against all those three sides, Fulton will ensure that nearly every player that's on the paddock will be a fully capped international.
Well, another mistake here from Wakefield. It was Adrian Shelford who missed it completely, collided with Gillespie on his way, and there's a bit of an argy-bargy going on, but the referee has indicated a scrum down, and Wakefield have head and ball. Handling errors, Wakefield have made 16, the Aussies have made 10 tonight. Understandable, really, in these dreadful conditions. Lazenby going nowhere. I must say the word that comes into my mind when I watch the Australians play is intensity. They really never let you off the hook. They never give you a moment's respite. They soak up the pressure, and then they snap back just when it looks like a little revival's on the way. And they don't give you a chance. And my word, you don't need to do things like that, because Elias was gifted the ball by Richard Slater there. Unfortunately for him, the defence had come back, and now there's a little kick ahead by Lyons, looking for Shearer. Shearer got to it first, touchdown. I think he's claiming a try, Dale Shearer, but the referee says that the ball had gone dead.
A little bit too late here, and Shearer of old would have been in for the try there. And he definitely is troubled by the leg injury.
The Aussies, though, caught offside. Penalty to Wakefield. And Lazenby, off the arms of an Australian player, deposits the ball into touch. There's the kicker, Tracy Lazenby. And there's going to be another substitution there, as you can see. Cliffy Lyons is about to come off. And Mark McGaw, who played on Sunday when the ball boy will get out of the way. We'll see Cliffy Lyons come off. And Mark McGaw, who played throughout Sunday's match at St Helens, he comes on. There's McGaw just running through your picture. Lazenby then gives it to Shelford. There is Mark McGaw. Tall man for a centre. And he had a great performance. Sorry, Mike, had a great performance on Sunday at Saints.
Certainly did, and he'll add a little bit more punch into, and a bad knock there, and take the mouth guard out. And this was accidental. He just caught his head underneath. And let's hope he's okay.
Nick Dutoy feeling the full weight of the Australian tacklers.
Lazarus coming in right over the top there, Eddie.
And look at Dutoy's neck. I hope he's all right. He looks a bit groggy, but healthy otherwise. The referee was quick to stop the play, and he's very groggy. But fortunately, no real damage done.
Well, I can't believe that they're going to keep him on. It really is serving no purpose. I know he wants to continue, but the game is lost. Go and have a rest.
And yes, Dave Topless calling him off and putting Linton Morris on. Highly rated forward, signed from local amateur football last year. Dutoy getting the applause of the Bellevue crowd as he trudges off to the dugout. Linton Morris comes scampering on.
He's worked pretty hard today, Dutoy. And of course, the first try scorer for Wakefield. He'll remember that for quite some time.
Scrums all square as the referee waits to welcome another newcomer on. Des Hasler has come on. And the man who's gone off for Australia is Kevin Walters. So it's all change here at Bellevue. That's just about every substitute used, I think. There might be one left, and that's Bob Lindner of Australia. He's still dry. And here come Wakefield. Now, can they give us something to cheer about? Jones. Touch judge has seen something. Wants a word with the referee. Great run from Jones down the touchline. Let's see if we can see what happened here.
Certainly was. Byrne did well here to get to Jones. Now watch the little bit of a late tackle coming in there. The big fella.
It was Des Hasler, I think. He went second or third time. And he's been sent to the sin bin. So he's only been on for a couple of minutes. He's in the sin bin.
Well, I think he's got the wrong fellow there. And Hasler shakes his head. Hasler certainly went high, but he missed him. But Mark McGaw was the guy that did the damage.
Well, Hasler, I don't think he's actually touched the ball, and he's gone to the sin bin. Oh, and there's an almighty collision. And that was Mark Geyer on Nigel Bell. Well, we need a computer to work all this out now, but I make that Wakefield have 12 and the Aussies have 11 on the field at the moment. Need one of those abacus things that they have in primary schools to work it all out. However, here's Linton Morris. Good driving run from him. Well brought down by Lazarus. Wakefield coming again, coming strongly. Shelford drops the ball, though, under pressure. It's a penalty to Wakefield. Australia caught offside and inside the 5 at the play the ball.
Well, Shelford will be relieved about that, because the last 4 occasions that he's taken the ball up, he's lost it.
Nearly lost his head then. Crunching tackle. They don't let you off the hook at all, do they? The game just about won, but they'll die for each other on the line, this Australian team, both of them.
They certainly will, especially this guy, the young Penrith forward. He's a tough boy.
Now then, Slater on at the start of this second half. I've had too much to do as a fullback, now joining the line. Here's Price, good run from him, but again, the ball goes to ground. Lazenby on it quickly. But Brad Fittler says, we'll have that. And here's the run again from Gary Price.
Well, it was a good run by Price, and he tried to keep the ball alive. Elias just getting there before Conway.
Well, that looked as though it was fed into the back of the second row's feet. Mason, ball out here to Wilson. It's a stroll in. And Wakefield, in the shape of Andy Wilson, have got over for another try. Andy Wilson's come on as substitute, and he's been given a real gift despite that feed at the scrum.
That was bad play by Stewart. Missed a chance. Alexander all at sea, and Shearer, well, he won't be happy with that one. That really was an easy try. You'll see Alexander up at the scrum base, and Shearer, well, dearie me, he should have been over there. He just can't believe it. That's the easiest try he'll score for a long time. Stewart making a meal of it. Conway, great play. Mason caught a little bit of a high tackle as he passed the ball, and that really is a soft try.
So a smile on the face of Andy Wilson, and no wonder. And Mark Conway can add 2 more points here if he can slot this one over. That line is about 10 metres in from touch. They're all getting behind him, the Wakefield public. I think he's kicked it. He has! The crowd have come alive. Despite the rain, they must be absolutely soaked to the skin here at Bellevue. But Wakefield Trinity have scored another try, 18 to them. But look at 36 to Australia.
It's been a long time. I would believe that a club side, an English club side, has scored 3 tries against a Kangaroo touring team.
Wigan, Ian Proctor, our ace statistician, tells me on the first match of last tour in 1986. But apart from them, even his memory is tested. So well done, Wakefield. And they're not finished yet. I know conditions are appalling tonight, but I have not been as impressed with Australia, the second string that Fulton's got out here, as I was on Sunday at St Helens with the test lineup.
I think the biggest problem is the fact that no one in the Australian side has taken control of the game itself. Normally Stewart takes the game by the scruff of the neck. His kicking game hasn't been as good as what we expected, and the linking qualities hasn't been there.
Penalty at the scrum, and I don't think there's any doubt at all. Oh, the referee says that he's going to ask the scrum to reform, but that looked like feeding to me. But the referee says that he will give Wakefield the feed at the scrum, and that is done. Lazenby. So, Slater, you've got to take the ball with you. It's almost a sliding tackle that would be at home on a soccer field, that. However, here come Wakefield once again. Credit to them, they're keeping it going.
Certainly is a credit to them, because capacity crowd here at Bellevue, and they've given their supporters something to cheer about. At least they're playing entertaining football.
And the ball coming back off the legs of the tall figure Mark Geyer. Benny Elias swooped on it quickly. The referee's whistle, though, brings him back. Lazenby's kick ahead here. But it wasn't Geyer, it was the big number 11, David Gillespie. And the referee says that the two sides must scrum down. Not happy with the way that ball went in and out. Wakefield win another scrum. Lazenby in possession. Hasler ready to come back into the action. 5 minutes served. But I think he's had to sit down again. Maybe he's got another 5 to serve. Conway trying to go down the middle. Lazarus has other ideas, though. Mark Conway with a kick over the top. Johns rounded up. And then he's hit by the two on-rushing players, Jones and Byrne of Wakefield. Alexander, great play from Alexander. I must say, the two full-backs have impressed me. Belcher on Sunday, Alexander here tonight.
Two classy players indeed. But Fulton won't be happy with this performance. I know it's an easy win in the end, but it hasn't been a team performance by the Kangaroos. Far too much individual football, and a lot of the tries coming from individual play.
Yes, there's been probably far too many errors for Bob Fulton's comfort. Shelford. 12 minutes to go. The Australians are well ahead, 36 points to 18. But Wakefield keeping things going right to the final siren here. Oh, juggling with the ball. Referee's whistle goes. Penalty to Australia. Right, well, we can now go to the touchline again. Peter Hutton is there, and Kevin Walters is talking to him.
Well, Kevin, 18 points between the sides, but it's been quite a tough game for the Aussies.
It has been. They've started to come back us the last few minutes, so the boys have to hang in there.
They've really got stuck into you as well today.
Yeah, it's been quite a hard game. The crowd has really spurred them on, and it's been a good performance from as I say, the game's not over yet, so anything could happen.
What about your own side's performance? Pleased the way things are going?
Yeah, not too bad. This is our first run over here together, so we're going all right. But a few drop balls and silly passes have cost us dearly, so we'll have to work on that.
But clearly everyone wants to get out of that midweek side and into the weekend side, into the test team.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And if we keep playing like we did tonight, maybe some of us might get through.
Thanks a lot, Kevin.
No worries.
Great competition amongst the 28 Australians then for a place in the test at Wembley on the 27th of October. And Des Hasler back on, and he's certainly a man with his eye on a test spot. Off the sin bin, and what a good tackle. The two number 14s clashing there. Richard Slater on Desi Hasler. Great tackle. And not only that, Hasler was dragged into touch. Watch this. Copybook stuff.
Great play by Slater. He used the touchline as a player. He knew he had to push him out wide. And dive just at the right moment.
The scrum has collapsed in an untidy heap. Wakefield have come up with it, but they're right back. That is their own try line immediately behind them. That's 2 tackles gone. Referee's whistle. Penalty to Wakefield. Australia had again strayed offside. That's been a feature of both the matches, actually. They have been caught offside, not only when they're attacking without the ball, but also when they're in possession.
Yes, that's a problem that Bobby Fulton is trying to clear up with the English referees. But that's the pressure that they apply to all the sides. They take the risk. They use a dish-like defence. The centres move out wide very, very quickly and try to force the passage down the middle.
Penalty figures, 16 for Wakefield and only 6 given to the Australians. Something there for Bob Fulton, perhaps, to think about overnight?
I think Bobby Fulton knew what was in store before he left Sydney, and he was quite open about the whole situation, hoping that he'd just get at least a fair go.
Byrne doing well. Little kick over the top. We saw that being employed quite a bit by St Helens on Sunday. Not so much in these slippery and wet conditions here tonight, though. Stewart in possession for the Australians. Well brought down by Jones.
There we see the Australian side really going from dummy half, and there's no one really taking control out there. Elias should be there trying to urge them on.
Here is Elias. This is Gillespie. And this is Shearer. Oh, and there's a heavy tackle on Shearer. Not too happy with that from Nigel Bell. Elias again, organising from dummy half. Tackling again, though, from Nigel Bell. Working hard tonight, Bell. Now the Australians camped out again. Stewart, this is Hasler. Hasler's good ball inside. Oh, the tall man is there. He's looking for support, offloads it easily. Alexander's in for another try.
Well, they failed to put the man with the ball down there, and that really was another soft try for Alexander. Good support play, though. He's had a fine game, the full-back. There we see Hasler onto McGaw. Look at the strength of the man. And that really is a problem that the English sides are going to have to overcome. You can't afford to just let them stand in the tackle. He's a big boy, plenty of strength in the upper body. Look at him there, searching for that final pass, and in for it. And it wasn't a try. They've disallowed it.
The referee saw something that we didn't. A forward pass, I think. And from the resulting scrum, a penalty to Wakefield at the scrum. So, as you were, no try. It stays 36-18 in Australia's favour. No try. Alexander will be upset about that. Andy Wilson won't, though. This is the reason why we have this break in play. Another handling error from Wakefield. The 22nd handling error from them, and in dreadful conditions, only 12 handling errors as far as Australia are concerned. Another penalty at the scrum to Wakefield. The penalty count will make horrendous reading, and both Ricky Stewart and Benny Alliance asking for clarification from the referee, and the referee saying to Mr. Stewart that the man in yellow will referee it, not the man in green and gold. OK, says Benny Elias, you're in charge.
I think a lot of these players now, Eddie, looking towards a nice hot shower. It's been one of those nights.
Shelford. Seen much of the ball, but not really done too much with it. There's the penalty count, and it's gone just slightly Wakefield's way. 18-6. Pity it wasn't 18-6 in points. It's only 18-6 in penalties. Here they come again. Stewart, good play from him. Handling skills so much a part of the Australian scene, and as we saw on our coverage of the Australian League this season, so much a part of Canberra's preparation for matches. They really do build up towards match days and try and get their players almost juggling with the ball in Sydney, don't they, Mike?
They certainly do, but I really think that at fault the Australian side are doing exactly what they did against St Helens late in the second half. They're taking things a little bit easy. They're just going through their training routines, and who knows, maybe a bit of complacency can come into the Australian side. Maybe Wigan can take advantage of that at the weekend.
Yes, Wigan against Australia here on the Sports Channel on Sunday in our usual slot. That looked a mile forward. The referee waves play on. And again, Wilson drops the ball. Lazenby hacks it forward. The referee's whistle will sound and bring us back to a scrum down. Wilson annoyed. And this is the reason why. Hasler, the man he had to go round. And it's squirted out. And a bit of help from Desi Hasler too, I think. Andy Wilson. Nigel Bell has won the Wakefield Trinity Man of the Match award for number 10 for Wakefield. But this isn't a bad run from Brad Fittler. I've been impressed by this young man tonight too, in these dreadful conditions. And there is Nigel Bell, Wakefield's Man of the Match. Mike Stevenson's Man of the Match would be... Well, we'll let him think about it for a moment.
Well, there's a little bit of a scuffle. It's on again. And really, this isn't what it's all about, fellas. Come on. The game's gone. There's no heroes in doing things like that.
Well, there's another player, Mark Geyer, with blood streaming down from his face, and this is how it all started. Bit of a head going in there, I think, by number 15, Billy Conway, and then it starts.
Yes, there it is. Referee takes a tumble, and that is stupid play.
And Billy Conway has been sin-binned for that. And the referee wants a word with Mr. Hasler now. 15 departs. He's sin-binned for 5 minutes to cool his heels. And Shearer is now sin-binned for something he said to the referee. 5 minutes in the bin for Mr. Shearer. Meanwhile, a penalty to Australia. Scrappy is the word that comes to mind.
Certainly is, and you've got to give credit to the young kid on the sideline wanting the autograph of the guy who's just got into the sin bin. Oh my God. He could have got something more than just the autograph then.
Are you better at maths than me? How many's left now? It's 11 apiece, isn't it? We're into soccer now, aren't we?
Certainly is, and whatever's left out there, they're certainly tired.
Last 2 minutes. Here's Lazarus. Well, he might be tired, but oh, he's lopped the ball. Wilson's picked up, and he's been ankle tapped. They take no prisoners in the tackle, the boys in the green and gold, do they?
They're certainly not, and there's Lazarus looking for the inside pass.
Trying to be a little bit clever for his own good there, Glenn Lazarus. But here we go again. And they're all getting involved. Every player on the pitch is running towards this. And this, I'm afraid, is bordering on the disgraceful.
Well, he's pretty close to losing control here, the referee.
Another one off. Ricky Stewart has been sent off by the referee. Sensational here at Bellevue. 2 Kangaroos sent off here tonight. Ricky Stewart off and Mark Carroll off in the first half, and Mr. Allett, the man in yellow, will grab all the headlines in the morning.
Well, here you see it, Stewart coming in, and this is just a matter of squaring things off. It's been boiling and boiling, and it could even boil over even more now.
Well, Kevin Allett has penalised the Australians all evening, and he's not going to win many friends in the Antipodes, I don't think, tonight. And he won't win many friends in that Australian dressing room. And the penalty count will make staggering reading, I think, at the end of it. And not only that, he sent 2 of the Kangaroos off.
Well, let's hope that we can get some football in the last remaining seconds of this game.
Just checking what the 2 sendings off will mean. The Australian and also the man from Wakefield, John Thompson, who was sent off tonight. 3 men have been sent off on this match. They will appear before the Rugby League Disciplinary Committee tomorrow, we believe, and it then depends on their version of events here at Bellevue what happens as far as the rest of this tour is concerned for Messrs Carroll and Sargent, Messrs Carroll and Stewart of Australia. So an important day at disciplinary headquarters tomorrow. A couple of Great Britain internationals, and now 2 Kangaroos will be appearing before them. Oh, and another almighty collision. Nigel Bell, meanwhile, carries things on. The Wakefield player is flat out on the pitch. And it's Andy Mason who's groggily getting to his feet. And this is the reason why.
Yes.
Bang!
Oh, dearie me. No attempt to tackle the man. It's in the rules. I wish to take it out. This shoulder charging, that can be very dangerous indeed.
Well, the referee has seen that the ball was knocked out of the arms of Des Hasler. Good tackle by Jed Byrne.
Very good tackle indeed. Watch the knees. Hasler slipping through. It was accidental. He would have felt that with Des Hasler.
From the scrum, the penalty has gone Wakefield's way. There is the full-time siren, though, as Shelford picks up. And so the end of a bad-tempered, error-strewn match. The referee, surrounded by players, and by the looks of things, he's got his notebook out again, and somebody else, I think, has been sent off, you know. I rather think that someone else has just been sent off by the referee after play. I think it was, I'm not so sure it was David Gillespie, the big number 11 for Australia. He certainly called him towards him, the referee, and signalled to the dressing room, obviously for something that was said after the final siren had gone, and policeman takes the referee to the silence of the dressing rooms, and I think the repercussions of this match here at Bellevue will be felt for a long, long time to come. 36 points to 18. The Australians have won. Tries from Sargent, Johns, Walters, Stewart, Lazarus and Fittler. Good kicking from Alexander. He landed 6. Wakefield, they ran in 3 tries for themselves. Du Toit, Mason and Conway. But the main story of this match here tonight is that Gillespie has been sent off by the referee after the final siren. 3 Kangaroos have been sent off here at Wakefield tonight. John Thompson sent off of Wakefield Trinity. Not the best night of rugby league that we have seen on the Sports Channel. And, well, the repercussions, as I say, of this night here in Yorkshire will be felt for a long, long time to come. 3 off from Australia, 1 of Wakefield. Not a good night, Mike.
Certainly not a good night for rugby league.